Okay.
I answer to the marshal.
Hey, hey YouTube. This is Rex. I'm recording a YouTube this video to highlight this video game that I've been playing recently. I've really fallen in love with in a way, and it's a game I've been playing since I was in middle school, all the way up into high school. Playing it vanilla, playing Dark Crusade, playing Winter Assault, and Soulstorm when it eventually came out. Eventually, when I could get it, and I've been enjoying this game for a very long
Construction
time.
can now commence.
Because I've also been playing it with mods, and I've been trying out several. I've tried out maybe two mods at most, and I know that's kind of like
Technoline on site.
wow, that's pretty lackluster for trying out mods with this game. But I really liked Ultimate Apocalypse, and I was kind of from Master and his portrayal of the game. I watched that a lot
Gentlemen
and
of the
enjoyed that when I
Emperor,
was a little bit
prepared
younger,
for combat.
and him when he was playing with his friends. Back before,
Angels of
I
Death,
think I want to say like
ready
2
to
weeks ago
attack.
when I saw a YouTube video by the XP gamer, Captain
We
Shaq,
are
somebody
ready
who I
to
was watching
cover
since I
our
was a kid
brother's
too.
charge.
He showed me this modification for the second time with a YouTube video. And after that, I was like, okay, I gotta try it. Because then I saw the Death Corpse of Krieg and how instead of it being just a fancy reskin, they become an actual standalone faction in this mod, which is very cool. And I haven't even really touched on them a lot, but I did touch on play a few of the other standalone factions. I played the bloodangels, who are their own standalone faction and not just a part of the Space Marines, who are their own special units and own special customizations, which is really cool. Having their own death companies, their own custom models they've been made for this by the Unification Mod. And the Unification Mod isn't just, one person doing all this, so because that's kind of hard. But this is a group of people who put all their mods together and then released it out. And after I do like a brief gameplay, like a really small, like a brief game, playing one of the factions, which it might be Black Templars, who you saw me show you a second ago, and how they look really cool. I might also, it might also be somebody else if I see something that I really like. And that's not all they do. They don't just have standalone good factions like that. They also have, for those who saw it, who probably are interested in this, the Fallen. These are a part of the First Legions, the Firstborn, the Lion's sons that fell to chaos during the schism of Caliban, which is really cool how they've had these guys because they also have the Dark Angels themselves. And a really cool thing, considering the fact that now we have the Lion Son of the Forest book that came out very recently, bringing back the lion, and it's kind of keeping with continuity. We have I could have sworn he was here. Lion L. Johnson himself, in all his beautiful 3D rendered modeled glory, leading the Dark Angels themselves. But also, something you may be wondering about them is also whether or not it's just the Dark Angels. Like how other factions, where if you go to, say, Eldar, and then you go down here and you look at the factions within the Eldar, and you have their you have their model, you have their banner, you have their badges that they'll have on their armor. The same thing can be said for the first founding chapters. So with the Dark Angels, you also have the Angels of Absolution. You also have Angels of Vengeance, Angels of Redemption, and also the alternate version of Angels of Redemption, of Vigilance, I'm sorry. You also have Death Angels, the Centurions, and all these guys play differently. All the factions, all the Space Marine factions especially. Like Dark Angels are worldly different from the Imperial Siege. They are very different. These guys are more defense orientated, especially with their starter unit, who have big shields along with bolt gun options, which is really cool. I played a little bit with them. And they have cool iron. Those of you who do know, that's Iron Hamlet, and also iron armor, I believe, as well. And it's very cool to see that, to have that with them in particular. Then you have your normal standard helmet of the Firstborn Marines. Now, with this, you also do have just your regular chapter of Space Marines. And these are the Blood Angels, the Gabriel Angelos, and all his guys, his force commanders. But also, you get the Primaris Marines in this mod. They get them and their helmets and also guards, which is pretty cool that we get those guys. I did not know they get just the character. They get that. That's cool. You also get Terminators. And another cool thing that also I know for playing the Black Templars a little bit more, but is that you get to have variations. Like in the Ultimate Apocalypse mod, you can get a variation of you can upgrade your heroes essentially.
It's a judgment, we shall kill them all.
And if you've listened to or heard Hell's Reach, you should know
When you
this
finally
guy.
stand before the throne, will you avert your eyes?
You should know this guy. He is very important. He is the main character of the story in Hell's Reach. But also,
Assemble
the
your men who
leader
converge
or
on my position.
more or less chapter master is here as well. And you can see he has an upgrade variation, which you can do
Aegis
afterwards,
fortissima vertis.
which puts him in Terminator armor, which, as we know, and for those who don't know, is one of the best sets of armor you can have, being short of being put inside of a dreadnought. As you know, first chapter,
At
Terminators
last, the
are not
chapter's
just put
finest
in,
armor is ours to command.
are usually worn by first company. People of first company.
I am here!
Either the first company in the first
More
founding legions,
fitting, my lord.
or
More fitting, my lord.
Our bolters are consecrated and ready for war.
Jesus, what am I trying to say here? Either they're worn by that or they're worn by the. In the Space Wolves case, it's not like that. It's part of the Wolf Guard, the leader of the company, who are structured differently. They get to have them. But for them, they get two sets of different. They had two options of Terminator.
We continue the crusade in tactical dreadnought armor.
They get two variants of this Sword Brethren. And I'm trying to keep this video at 15 minutes because it is a weekend and I don't feel like registering my YouTube channel so I can upload longer videos. So I may do a cut here and then upload a second video after me showing these guys in all their glory. So a cool thing that I probably will touch on once I get into the game on my next video, or if it's time, is that you can't have out more than one chaplain. So
When you finally stand before
you
the
need to get one of
throne,
these two.
shall you avert your eyes?
But these two don't get. He doesn't get Terminator armor. I don't believe. I really wish he did. But I do know that within the Dark Angels, for instance, they do get a Terminator variant. It's pretty fitting. Deathwing Apothecary for their people. Deathwing Terminator squads and Terminator Chaplain. Oh yeah, boy. That Crozies is gnarly. But each faction plays differently. And also, for those of us who like our beaky boys, we do have Raven Guard. and they're pretty cool. They have some really cool units that they employ. I have these who are their assault marines, standardized infantry. And when I get into the next game, you'll also see, like in the upgrade menu, some of the cool things you can get. You get eliminators who are like the Primaris eliminators, who is I think it's Scipio in Space Marine 2. This is who he is loosely based off of. But it's not just cool new units. They also get cool new heroes. And most Space Marine Legions do get a Titan, who are our own factions. But we also get the chapter master of our Legion, Caving Strife. And if I just flip him over a little bit, you will. I don't know why he's wearing his helmet now. Because you can get a variation where he's not wearing his helmet. There you go. And they've got his own little model for his head. But that's not all. You have the Stranger. Now, I don't know anything about the Stranger. I just know he looks cool, and this is probably not lore accurate. But what do I know? We have our own Reclusiarch, who is just essentially a chaplain, no librarian. My only complaint about the librarians is most of them have the blue paint job, and I really kind of don't like it. Not really. But also, I can't mention Space Marines without mentioning some of the best boys who ever did do it, the Salamanders. You get to play as them. You got cool Scout Marines. You have your tactical squads with all the flames, the blue, all the flames, the dragon's head, and the greens. You can be them. And also, they get to call in Battle Sisters. Is this lore accurate? Probably not. But it's a pretty cool concept in the grand scheme of things. That they would serve the chapter alongside them and the Ir Indominus. You have your cool Salt Marines. You also get Primaris Eradicator squads, which is pretty cool. You get a Bender Priest, who is essentially your apothecary. You get a cool banner bearer, and you get Tech Marines. Most Space Marine factions, so like how they have here, that's their constructor unit. They have Tech Marines. And now you kind of do have a limit on how many Tech Marines you can have at one time because they do get some pretty cool upgrades in the upgrade shop within the upgrade, each faction's upgrade. And they get pretty cool weapons. And it can become, they can defend themselves whenever they're out building by themselves. And they're pretty good in melee. You get a cool Death Watch veteran in all his beautiful glory. You get a chaplain. And I don't know about the I don't know about the mass choice, but pop off, I guess. And then you have the librarians. Like I said, most of the librarians in this have the blue armor. And yeah, that's the only thing I really don't like. Your force commander, blessed with the genetic gifts of Nocturne. I don't. Oh, you get a Primaris force commander as well for them, which is pretty cool. And you can guess you get a force commander in Terminator armor, which is cool. And you get your cool Terminator squads with your chain fists and your storm bolters or dual barrel bolters. You get Fire Drake squad, which is another Terminator unit with a dragon's head. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to look. And you get your tactical sergeant. My only real complaint, and the only thing I feel is missing realistically here, is the Space Wolves, but they do have something else in here, which is the 13th Company. It hurts my soul greatly that with this 13th Company, it is not actually a Space Marine company. It's not. It's different. They play very different. They're not like how you would expect them to play, and they're a little bit complicated. And I haven't really dove into them. I played them for a little bit and was like, this isn't for me, and kind of just switched off. But you see, this is 13th Company. This is the company that went with Lehman Russ into the warp. They are no longer. I think we meet them briefly in Wolf's Honor with Ragnar. Ragnar Blackmane, soon to be the leader of the Stormfists. But it's still cool. I just hope that we eventually do get an actual company. That's a bit rough. And there we go. If you play Space Marine 2, you know where this mask is from. Yeah, Stormclaw Terminator. I forget what pattern of Terminator armor this is, but I do know this is pre heresy armor. And we had a Terminator Wolf Priest, which is so badass. Look at him. He has a freaking axe. And he has a freaking wrist mounted Stormbolter. It's so cool. Then we have Death Swarm. I don't know who this is. Maybe someone else could inform me. Inform me of this man. You have a Rune Priest, who is our resident Psyker. This one I don't mind as much. They did a decent job with the Rune Priest, I'm gonna be honest. You have the Wolf Priest, who is their version of the Chaplain, of the Reclusiarch, their spiritual guides. You have your Wolf Lord. Wolf Lords are the ones who lead the company. As you see, he is brown, but that's not really him being brown. That's fur growing on his face. Because technically, these guys have been in the warp for a very long time. And so, with that comes mutations and also being touched by the Wolfen quite a bit. You got a cool ironclad. I'm not gonna. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. A dire. You have a dire wolf, which is a titan. How they have access to this, I do not know. And you have the man himself, Lehman of the Russ. And he's holding Frostmourne. I'm just now realizing this. World of Warcraft. And then we have Wolfguard. If I'm being so honest, I really do hope that we get an update for that because I really do love Space Wolves. But they're not the main legions aren't the only ones that really got a facelift and got something out of this. Because we do have, I'm not showing them because I don't want this video to be taken down, and I'm probably going to be blurring all that out. Instead, we have worldeaters, which is pretty cool that they're their own standalone faction and not just tied into chaos and being like a separate group you can call in. They have their own fully fleshed out unit roster, which is really cool. They have the Cornate Raptors, Berserkers, Skull Champions, which is cool, but they also have Mortal Followers to go alongside them. Where are they at? Blood Pack. And these are coming two different varieties. You get your cool Blood Pack Troopers, and you also get your Blood Pack Assassin, which is a really cool unit that if I do play them, you'll see. And I don't see the Warriors. Where are the Black Warriors at? Who are your melee variant? This is essentially the leader of the Blood Packs. It's pretty cool. He has some pretty cool units with him. You get cool. You get your own set of transports that were with the Blood Pack, and you get the man himself, Karn the Betrayer, in all his beautiful glory. You also get to summon an Angron himself, the Angry Boy. And I think we get sisters, corrupted sisters with them. Nope, we don't. Get hounds though. And you get, of course, if you couldn't be a coordinate faction without bloodthirsters or heralds of corn. But there's also another chaos faction that I really want to show off before I leave you with this video, which is one of my favorites, the nightlords. Big whoop. I like the nightlords. And you get to have all their cool little legions. And if you know, you know from the Night Lord's Omnibus what this means. And you also know what I'm going to. I like this a lot. Because you get Raptor Scouts. You get full-blooded Marines as scouts for your forces. And also you get Night Sisters. If you know Death of Saints, this is really interesting to give them sisters alongside them with the pre-heresy backpack too. The pre-heresy power pack. You have Terror Marines and all the Nostroman glory, all the skulls and bat wings. You have your Terror Sergeant. You have your Raptors. You have that looks like that's a better Raptor because they're supposed to, as they've been in the war, Raptors are supposed to be almost bipedal, and like we see them in that was Omnibus, and how they're looked down upon within the legions in general. You got your Havoc Marines. You have your Warp Talons, and then Sorzal, your leader, and you also have Possessed Marines. Controversial, yes, but we did know Night Lords don't really do the whole acceptance of corruption thing, but they have Warp Talons, so and you get a cool Night Lords captain as one of the heroes you can call in the beginning. You get your Night Lord sorcerer. You get your apothecary. I believe this is the one who takes. Yeah, this is the one from Blood Reaver, the one who joins from the Red Corsairs. And you should know Talos' kid, Decimus, the one who inherited his gene seed. That's also Talos' helmet, if you didn't know, and his blade as well. His power blade. That's not how it really looks, but that's just how this game, the mod chooses to depict it. You also get one more. You get your demon. I would have loved to have it as also you could choose whether or not you're for your 10th company, whether or not you're the 10th company, because it would be so cool if you could have first of all, you have Uzas, you have Zara, you have Syrian, you have Markutian, and then you can call him Malkarian. It'd be so cool. You get a cool little battle tank, Koros battle tank. And you get, like I said, every faction gets their own version of Imperial Knight. That is very loud for me, but I know it's not loud for you, I hope. You get a cool Land Raider. And you also get a Hellblade, which is a flying unit. That's all I want to show you for now. And just to get you interested, and also for my Imperial Guard lovers, we have Valhallan Firstborn and all their cool glory. And I will be releasing more videos if this does well. This is where I leave you. I hope you have a good day. GG's, have fun, laugh. Bye bye.